Nigeria, on record, has 30 million rice
30
farmers.
30 million farmers.
To 190 million Nigerians.
30 million. 30 million of our people are just rice farmers.
Rice should be coming out of our ears and noses.
And that is not general agriculture. That's just rice. 30 million. Yes. Yeah, that's by the Ministry of Agriculture.
Okay, our guest in the studio is already laughing at that. Smart Akpejoyi is a policy analyst joining us for this discussion. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Is your laughter, is it sarcastic or what?
Is he in agreement? Or is he in commendation of the Ministry of Agriculture?
Of course, condemnation.
Really?
Anyway, first, the government's Haudu Ogbe said, that's the Minister for Agriculture, said they want to shut down the borders in a few days' time because of smuggling.
Yes, and to protect the economy.
One. First of all, I will take it from the Yoruba, and a Yoruba adage that says, cutting off the head is not the solution to headache. It's like if you constantly have headache. So what should I do to this? You want to cut off the head. It will not solve it.
I can have peace of mind.
On the other hand, again, most of the things Haudu Ogbe says as a Minister of Agriculture, I have never been in support of him.
Why is that?
And perhaps that is not the main topic for today. But the main topic for today is that he said they are going to shut down the borders. Perhaps in his submission, in a council memo, because every ministries have what we call council memos that the Federal Executive Council will discuss. Probably in his submission, in his council memo, he would have suggested that. So
but this particular
it is not the federal government.
Was not at the FEC meeting. This was directed at young people. Yes.
This is him saying so. So he's probably saying so because he knows what he has imputed in the Ministry of Agric Council memo to the Federal Executive Council.
To be discussed.
To be discussed. And perhaps because he knows that when he convinced them, they could just say, okay, yes, go ahead and implement. But honestly, if he's thinking about that, if you have not submitted that memo yet, it should be discounted. The reason is that Nigeria is not only about rice importation or rice production. Now, you see, I know of some Nigerians that export some of these wheat, semolina, semovita out of Nigeria, and they do that every day to neighboring countries, and they got their loan from Nexim. So if you are going to stop that, for how long are you going to stop that? For how long? And again, it is not the best. Of course, if we're talking about our borders, which borders are going to be shut? Is it the unmanned borders
or the manned ones?
Or the manned ones? We have more of the unmanned borders than the manned ones. And at every point in time when the customs arrest smugglers, what they'll first of all say is that this rice that we have impounded came in from illegal routes. So none has come in through the legal route. See, I've had cause several times to travel through the legal route. And I've had cause once to go through an illegal route. I find out that no sensible Nigerian wants to go through the illegal route.
Why not?
Do you know why? Because the hoodlums, not police now, not immigration, not custom, that you will meet on the road, you will probably be giving them 200 naira. If you are going through the legal route, you probably go with your passport. Or your ID card. Sometimes I had cause to go through Cotonou, the semi-border, and they said, where's your passport? I said, no, I'm not supposed to go through my passport. All you just need to do is to identify me as a Nigerian. That I have the old national ID card, and I have my employment card. I said, if that's not enough, then there is a problem. The man said, give us. I said, no, I won't give you anything. And he said, okay, go. That is through the legal route, semi. But if you go through the legal route, you have no choice. You must part with something. So nobody wants to go through the illegal route. And I tell you, most of the people that smuggle into this country, they come through the illegal route. Within the semi end, we have well over dozens of illegal routes that I even know. when you go through the Golo, that is through the Idiroko.
Yeah.
That's through the Idiroko. After this Bolarewa Bureau's this thing, Frontier Hotel. The illegal routes around that area alone. Now, when you go through the Ayetoro, Egbado, that route, there are too many illegal routes. So, if you are going to shut the border, which one do you want to shut?
And that is just this axis. There
are
some in the northwest, in the north, in
now,
the east.
In the Oke-Ogun area, Shaki, Isheyin, there are too many illegal routes there. So which one do you want to shut?
All right. The minister has said that a neighboring country, he didn't mention whether for strategic reasons or for political reasons or for diplomatic reasons, he didn't mention, but he said a particular neighboring country is importing more rice than China is itself.
I mean,
and all that importation is meant for Nigeria. Nigeria is the final destination. Now, but if we consider that, whether it is as much as that or not, we cannot wish away the fact that there is massive smuggling of rice into Nigeria. But isn't there something government should do right now drastically?
First, let me tell you, of course, you probably allowed me to advertise the Lagos State rice, the Lagos and Kebbi rice, because if I'm not mentioning them, it will not make meaning. That is what they call the lake rice.
Yeah.
The lake rice was a fantastic initiative from Ambode and the Kebbi State Lagos State government and the Kebbi State government. And within a very short space of time, we saw lake rice being launched. But between me and you today, go to any of the markets in Lagos. Do we have lake rice in those markets? The two major markets that sells rice in Lagos is Daleko and Ido. Go to Daleko, go to Ido, we don't have this rice. So you now begin to wonder, do we even have people thinking for the government? Do we even have economists and strategists thinking for the government? Because if it is said to be that we have over 30 million rice farmers producing rice, if they're not selling to other rice farms, mills, let them even go and sell to the Kebbi and Lagos State, to the Lake Rice milling farm in Kebbi. When you sell to them, that means those people will have to produce 24 hours, just like they do in some production company, that they do shift. And so you can produce enough tonnage of rice per day. And as you are producing, it's coming out.
Yeah, but government
says,
look, government says there is a rice revolution right now in Nigeria. And as a matter of fact, rice imports have been reduced by 95%.
So if it has been produced, you see, these are contradictions. You see, that is why sometimes most of us that fought spent our personal resources saying that we have a man of transparency, we have a man of integrity coming in. That is in the president of PMB coming in. And now
that's President Muhammadu Buhari.
President Muhammadu Buhari, and he's been dead now, that we are not saying why we have fought for him. That's why some of us, sometimes when we come out to criticize him, people start asking us that, are we not mischievous?
The real question I want to ask is, if we say there's a rice revolution and we've reduced rice imports to the barest minimum, why is rice smuggling still so attractive?
That is a contradiction from the government. Because as far as I'm concerned, there is still something that the government is not telling us. It is neither we are not encouraging these rice farmers enough, they're not producing enough, or perhaps that all the so-called noise about rice production is not true. Because in the first place, lake rice is being sold for between 12 and 13,000 naira.
For the 50 kg bag.
For the 50 kg bag. If it is being sold for at that amount, and an imported rice is being sold for 16,000 naira. Of course, I will go for the lake rice. I'll tell you something quickly. When they talked about this lake rice, a friend called me from the state and said, Wale, have you tasted this lake rice? And this, of course, we have tasted our own rice there in Atlanta or wherever. And you've tasted, so can you tell me the difference? I have not tasted it. He said, including you. I said, don't worry, I will go. And I went out looking for lake rice I could not get. I had to start calling my friends that works in the local government before I could get 25 kg, 2 bags. I even had to spread it. In fact, when I got it, I cooked it myself because I wanted to be sure that I'm doing it very well. Do you know, sincerely speaking, that's one of the best rice I've eaten so far. lake rice.
Interesting.
Now, when you go to ShopRite, you cannot get it. When you get to some stores or some malls, you cannot get lake rice. When you even go to the common market, when you go to Daleko, when you even go to the woman that's the Ifeanyi that sells rice in Ikorodu, you cannot get. The man that sells rice in Ido, you cannot get lake rice.
So whatever we're doing, they're not even available.
They're not available.
We've heard of lake rice, we've heard of Abakaliki rice, we've heard of Olam rice, we've heard of rice from Benue and Nasarawa State and Kogi State, we've heard of Abeokuta rice and all of those. At least these ones that are established, are they the ones to really be encouraged so that people, Nigerians, can tangibly hold and
these
say,
rice are not available. We only hear them on paper. We only hear them if government wants to flaunt their achievements. You don't see them. So if you don't see the rice, so look, if the unavailable becomes the available or whatever, how do we say this? If I want to go and buy rice now, like perhaps in the next 3 or 4 weeks now, I'm due to buy another bag of rice in my house. When I get to the place I want to buy rice, if I see lake rice, I will buy lake rice. If I see Olam rice,
but if you don't see
if I see Olam rice, I will buy Olam rice.
But
So
unfortunately, according to you, all of these are not even
available.
available. And then in addition to that, what the Agric Minister has said, Audogbe, is that a huge percentage of the rice that Nigerians buy, the Thailand rice, is actually carcinogenous, that it has a lot of arsenic in it. That's what he said.
Look,
I mean,
that is when you start going to this thing. You see, if you are hungry, the first thing you want to do is that you won't bother about all the nutritional content. You won't even bother all the scientific whatever. You probably want to eat first. You want to buy rice. You won't go to Yasika that sells rice across the road and say, which rice did you cook? Is it Abakaliki or is it? These rice are not available. If we really have this rice, this is where and again, we keep talking about synergy. There are no synergies among government agencies. The national orientation agencies will come there. Theirs is to advertise and talk about this rice. The Federal Ministry of Investment and whatever, they will come in and say, look, and the strategies, they will come in and say, these are places where, these are the various major rice marketers. Look, get the Yaloja of Daleko market to be part of it, that say all the rice that if you sell 20 trailers of rice every day, we will even give you 22 trailers of rice at a reduced amount. We don't want to see you sell any rice that is imported, that is not Nigeria. They will comply, because again, you will put your men at Daleko. As this rice are coming in, you just arrest the trailer driver. Where is this rice coming from?
Okay.
All right.
Unfortunately, Smart Akwajoy will have to leave it there.
We don't have all the time right now,
analyst.
but obviously you're saying strategies have to be put in place, deliberate strategies. Thank you very much, Smart Akwajoy, a policy analyst, for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.